If hard work is the #1 ingredient for wealth, if it's really just about grit and sweat and logging hours, why aren't the people working triple shifts the billionaires?
I can hear them thinking, so I should just go spend all my money to keep it flowing. That just sounds like a fast track to bank.
Right. I'll get the promotion, then I'll finally feel successful. This law completely reverses it. Welcome to Catalyst Power. I want to kick things off today with a bit of a paradox.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, it's one of those things that is just staring us in the face every single day. But we usually ignore it because, honestly, it's pretty frustrating.
Right?
If hard work is the #1 ingredient for wealth, if it's really just about grit and sweat and logging hours, why aren't the people working triple shifts the billionaires?
Yeah, that is the ultimate uncomfortable question, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, think about the people carrying entire families on their backs. They should be the richest people on earth if the formula is just labor equals reward.
We are so raised on this very specific cultural diet of, hustle harder, grind, sleep when you're dead.
Oh, totally. Right? Rise and grind.
Exactly. But if you actually look at the data, or honestly, just look around your neighborhood, reality tells a completely different story.
Yeah, it really does.
You see people who seem to just show up, say the right thing, do a few seemingly effortless tasks, and resources just flow to them. It completely defies the logic of labor equaling reward.
It does. And it's annoying. Let's be real. It feels like luck. Or just, unfair.
Of course. But Hill argues that this was definitely not a coincidence.
No, absolutely not. Attention all listeners. Today we are delving deeply into a truly fascinating subject. It focuses on the 7 secret laws of wealth and draws heavily on the tradition and spiritual principles of Napoleon Hill.
Yeah. And the central thesis we're unpacking here, the real hook, is that money is not a reward for effort. It is a response to frequency.
Okay, wait. We need to pause there for a second. Because frequency is one of those words that can sound a little abstract. Maybe a bit woo-woo for some people.
I dig that. Yeah.
If you're a listener right now and you're worrying about your rent or looking at your savings account, what does frequency actually mean in this context?
Think of it like a radio tuner. You can't listen to 101.5 FM if your dial is tuned to 98.7. It doesn't matter how hard you listen or how much you really, really want to hear the music on that other station.
You're just not on the right channel.
Exactly. You are simply not on the channel where the signal exists. The source is arguing that money itself is a signal.
So you could read every finance book out there.
Memorize every investment strategy, work 20 hours a day. Yeah.
But if your internal signal, your frequency, is broadcasting fear or lack, or this deep belief of, I'm not enough, the money won't stick.
So the source is treating money almost like a neutral entity. Like it doesn't have an opinion on you.
Precisely. Money is described as neutral energy. It doesn't care about your resume at all.
Wow. Okay.
It doesn't care if you're a good person or a bad person, which is hard for people to swallow. It only cares about the signal you are emitting. It acts like a mirror, just reflecting your internal state back to you.
All right. So our mission for this deep dive is to figure out how to actually tune that dial.
Yes, let's tune the dial.
We're going to walk through these 7 hidden laws that govern this money frequency. We really want to identify the specific factors that influence how you attract money.
And we're going to have a bit of a showdown later on, too.
Oh yeah. Comparing the behaviors that broadcast an abundance frequency versus the habits that just reinforce a poverty or lack frequency.
A quick reminder to our listeners. Hill's teachings emphasize the spiritual and psychological aspects of money.
Yeah, it's not a stock-picking guide.
Right. It treats money as an energy current that follows specific laws, almost like physics. So even if you're naturally a skeptic, Let's look at this as the ultimate psychology of wealth.
The foundation. The first law is called the law of the word.
This is a big one.
It really struck me because it makes you hyper aware of your own casual language, like the things we say without even thinking.
This is based on the idea that words are firing commands. Our teaching uses a really great analogy here. Think of your life as a computer operating system.
Okay, tracking.
Your words are literally lines of code that you are typing directly into the terminal.
And the scary part is the enter key is basically hit automatically, right?
Every single time. The universe or the operating system doesn't understand sarcasm.
It doesn't, I'm just joking. It only executes the command you typed.
I'm definitely guilty of this too. The teaching specifically points to those harmless jokes we all make. You know, you're out with friends, the bill comes, and you say things like, "Oh, I don't have a penny," or "Money hates me."
Or I'll be working until I die. Yeah, we all do it.
Why do we do that?
It's a social bonding thing mostly. We think we're just venting, or maybe trying to be humble, so we don't make others uncomfortable.
But under the law of the word,
Under this law, when you say, "money hates me," the universe records that as a direct command. It says, "Okay, money, stay away from this person." It registers your joke as an instruction to maintain that state of lack.
it is terrifying when you think about it that way. You're literally programming your own roadblocks.
You are. But I have to ask, is it just about positive thinking? Because I feel like I can stand in front of a bathroom mirror and say, "I am rich," all day long. But if I have $0 in my checking account, I'm just lying to myself.
That is a very crucial distinction. It is not about delusion at all. It's about reframing authority.
Reframing authority. Okay,
The teaching offers a highly practical shift in language that I greatly appreciate. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," which is actually an expression of grievance.
right. They said to use, "that is not in my current budget priority."
Exactly. Feel the difference in that. "I can't" implies total helplessness, like the external world is just doing things to you.
Right? It implies the world has power over you. But saying, "that is not a priority," implies decision-making.
You're in charge.
Yes, it shifts you from being a victim of your bank account to being the manager of your resources. It reflects intentionality, not lack.
It sounds a tiny bit formal to say out loud to a friend, but I get it. It completely changes your posture.
It does. The source also extends this to what it calls the spiritual bank account.
Right. So imagine every single word you speak is a transaction. Every time you speak worry, doubt, or poverty, saying things like, "I'll never get ahead," you are making a withdrawal. You are actively overdrawing your account.
But every time you speak faith or gratitude,
Exactly. Like saying, "I am expanding my ability to receive," that is making a deposit. The whole goal is to stop living in a vibrational overdraft.
stop bouncing checks with your mouth.
I love that.
That's a great way to put it.
Let's move to section 2, which covers the laws of action. This gets into the law of circulation and the law of tithing.
This connects directly to what we could call the biology of wealth. The source uses the analogy of blood.
Yeah, this visual was really vivid. Money has to move to stay healthy, just like blood in the human body.
Right? If blood stops moving, it clots. It basically dies. And the teaching compares hoarding money out of fear to a frozen lake.
Which makes perfect sense, because nothing grows in a frozen lake. The law of circulation essentially states that money must flow in order to expand.
I have to push back here, though. For the listener who might be on a super tight budget right now,
Absolutely. Let's address that.
I can hear them thinking, "so I should just go spend all my money to keep it flowing." That just sounds like a fast track to bankruptcy.
No. I'm really glad you brought that up. It is not about spending recklessly or spending money that you do not have.
Okay, good.
It is entirely about the emotion behind the spending you are already doing.
So this is the tight grip concept.
Exactly. When you pay a normal bill, your electric bill, rent, groceries, just observe your body for a second. Do you do it with a tightened chest?
Do you hold your breath when you click pay?
Right. Are you thinking, there goes my money, it's gone forever?
Yeah, it always feels like a loss. Like I'm losing points in a video game or something.
And that restriction completely blocks the flow. You are broadcasting to the universe that there isn't enough. The law of circulation asks you to spend with the sense of participating in a larger ecosystem.
Like, I am circulating this and I trust it will return.
Exactly. It's the fundamental difference between building a dam and being a river.
That naturally leads into the law of tithing. But the source adds a really interesting twist here that I hadn't heard before. Tithing with word.
Yeah, this was unique. It actually argues against the traditional idea of the humble silence when giving.
This is fascinating because culturally, we are almost always taught that true charity is silent. You know, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
Right. You're not supposed to brag about it.
But the teaching argues that from a purely energetic standpoint, giving without intention is just a physical transfer of paper or numbers. It's blind giving. To actually activate the law, you need to attach a verbal or mental declaration to the act.
So, when you're paying a bill or donating to a charity, you don't just click send in silence. You mentally declare something.
You declare, I am releasing this from abundance, and it returns to me multiplied. Wow. You are basically stamping the outgoing energy with a return address.
Stamping the return address. That makes so much sense. And there was another huge point here about who you give to. The source says give to principle, not people.
This is a huge protective measure against emotional burnout. Think about how many times you've loaned money to a friend or given to a specific cause and then watched how they spent it and just got furious.
Oh, all the time. You think, I gave them money for rent and they went out and bought a new TV.
Right. You feel like a sucker. You feel deeply resentful.
And that resentment just kills your frequency, doesn't it?
It absolutely tanks it. But if you give to the principle of flow, meaning you are giving purely because you are a person who supports circulation, then the recipient's reaction or behavior doesn't matter to you.
Because you aren't invested in them specifically.
Exactly. You are investing in the universal law of sowing and reaping. It keeps your own frequency completely clean.
That is actually incredibly freeing. It takes all the judgment out of generosity. You're doing it for your own spiritual hygiene, essentially.
Precisely. Spiritual hygiene is a perfect term for it. Okay, let's go even deeper. Section 3. This is where we get into the identity stuff, which feels like the engine room of this whole philosophy.
It really is. The laws of being: assumption, agreement, and identity. Let's start with assumption. The law of assumption totally challenges our normal timeline. We usually think backwards.
Like, I'll see the money, and then I'll feel secure.
Right. I'll get the promotion, then I'll finally feel successful. This law completely reverses it. You must feel secure to see the money.
The Google Maps analogy sample was perfect for this.
It really simplifies it. Think about how you use GPS on your phone. You type the destination into the app before you start driving.
You identify the endpoint first.
Exactly. You don't just drive around randomly, hoping the destination magically appears outside your window.
And once you type it in, you just trust the route it gives you.
Right. The law of assumption is entering wealth as the destination in your consciousness first. The system reality then charts the course to get you there.
But most people are driving around with panic entered as their destination, somehow hoping they arrive at wealth.
So it's about living in the end state.
You have to move from this mindset of waiting for rescue to living in presence. You literally make your morning coffee like a wealthy person would.
Okay, I have to ask, how does a wealthy person make coffee?
They aren't rushing. They aren't stressed. They definitely aren't standing there thinking about how they can't afford the coffee beans.
They just exist in it.
They walk and act like someone who has options. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled in your mundane daily tasks.
But there is a massive blocker here, right? The law of agreement. This is about all the baggage we carry around.
Yes, the unconscious contracts we've signed over the years. The source lists things we've all heard like, money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy, or you have to struggle to be a noble person.
We unconsciously nodded along to these ideas when we were kids. Maybe we heard our parents fighting about bills at the kitchen table.
So we sign these vibrational contracts with lack.
And the law of agreement says that reality will not fight you. It will simply fulfill whatever contract you signed.
So if I agreed at age 10 that money is super hard to get, reality just says, okay, we'll make sure it's hard to get. Contract fulfilled.
Precisely. And the only solution is to consciously cancel that contract.
How do you do that?
You have to catch yourself nodding to these thoughts during the day and just stop. You literally revoke the agreement. You say, I no longer agree that struggle is required for value.
Which perfectly brings us to the law of identity, the I am.
This is the capstone of the whole system. Reality doesn't respond to what you want. Think about it. Everyone wants $1 million.
True.
Reality responds to who you are. The source draws a really sharp line here between identifying as a survivor versus identifying as a commander or an investor.
Let's break that down. If your core identity is a survivor, what does a survivor constantly need?
Well, they need something to survive. A crisis, a threat.
Exactly. If you identify as a survivor, you will unconsciously attract situations that require you to survive. Sudden emergencies, close calls, just barely making rent every month.
Because that is your identity's function.
Oh, to actually shift this, you must start identifying as the commander of your resources. Action follows identity, not the other way around. You don't act rich to become rich. You become rich in your identity, and then your actions naturally just change.
I think this is a perfect time to really break down those behavior differences we promised. This is section 4.
Let's do it. We've got these two frequencies, broadcasting abundance versus reinforcing lack. The source material really highlights the contrast. And honestly, some of these are really subtle traps. Let's start with the concept of hope.
This is probably the trickiest one for people to grasp. Hope sounds positive. We generally love hope.
It's a virtue, right?
Right. But in the laws of wealth, the source says hope actually creates a gap. To hope for something implies at its core that I don't have it. It reinforces absence. It's a state of permanent postponement.
It puts the result in the future, always just out of reach. So, what does the abundance frequency do instead of hoping?
It uses command or assumption, like we talked about. It operates strictly in the now. It is living as if the thing is already done.
So it's the difference between saying, I hope I get there one day, and saying, I am on my way.
Beautifully put. One is passive waiting. The other is active travel.
Okay, next comparison. Spending habits. We touched on this with the tight grip. But let's be super specific. How does a lack mindset spend its money?
A lack mindset spends with guilt. It calculates how much is left in the account before the transaction is even finished. It's a total focus on depletion. It holds its breath.
And the abundance mindset?
Abundance spends with gratitude. It views the payment as physical proof that you are being served by the world. You think, I have the capacity to pay this, and I am grateful for the electricity this bill provides.
You focus on the value received, not the money sent out.
Exactly. And finally, let's talk about language again. What are the specific phrases that are just reinforcing lack?
Things like, I'm not good with numbers, or money goes too fast, or I can never get ahead. Affirmations of poverty.
Exactly. They are dark affirmations. And what are the counter phrases we should be using?
You swap them out. You say, I am expanding my capacity to receive. I am learning to master money. Money flows to me easily.
It's so subtle. One describes a trap you're stuck in. and the other describes growth you're actively experiencing.
It completely changes how your body feels when you say it too.
It really does. Now, for the listener who is thinking, okay, I'm ready to rewire this, but I need a concrete plan, the source provides a 7-day discipline system. This is Section 5.
Yes, think of this as a financial operating system reset. And I really want to stress to you, listener, this isn't about investing in stocks or crypto or cutting out your morning latte.
Right. No financial advice here.
It's entirely about internal hygiene. Let's run through the week. Day 1. What are we doing?
Day 1 is unsubscribe.
Like an email list?
Exactly. You observe your negative thoughts, things like, I'm worried or I'm not enough, and you simply refuse to subscribe to them. You treat them like spam email.
You just delete them.
You don't even fight them, because fighting them gives them energy. You just don't click open. You don't agree.
Day 2.
Use words as currency. You must speak only what you want to be true. If you can't say something that aligns with abundance, you just say nothing at all.
So absolutely no self-deprecating jokes about being broke.
None. This is significantly harder than it sounds for most people.
I can imagine. It requires so much discipline. Okay, day 3.
Act from the new identity. Throughout the day, ask yourself, how would a wealthy person handle this specific email? How would a commander make this decision?
And then you just do that.
Yes, it's about consciously breaking the survivor autopilot we usually run on.
Day 4. I think this is the one I would struggle with the absolute most.
Selective silence. Stop complaining entirely. Stop leaking your energy by telling your problems to people who can't actually solve them. We love to dump our problems on our friends, but the source calls this energy leakage.
It makes sense though. It amplifies the problem. You're basically reliving the trauma by telling the story over and over. All right, day 5.
Eliminate 3 habits. Pick 3 very specific things you do daily that reinforce lack.
Give me an example.
Maybe it's anxiously checking your bank balance 5 times a day. Or maybe it's looking at things you want online and immediately saying, I'll never have that. Just hard stop those 3 things.
Day 6.
Shift reflex to intention. This is about the pause. Pause before you spend money. Pause before you speak about money.
Turn the automatic reactions into deliberate choices.
Exactly. Stop being a robot running on old programming.
And finally, day 7.
Reflect and accumulate self-respect. Look back in the week. Consciously acknowledge the bricks you laid for this new identity. So you tell yourself, I didn't complain on Tuesday.
Right. Or, I rephrase my doubt on Thursday. This process actively builds the evidence for your new commander identity.
It's an incredibly powerful week. It's not physically exhausting, like digging a ditch, but it requires serious mental focus.
It requires the final law mentioned in the teaching, the law of obedience, which sounds a bit intense.
It just means alignment. Freedom doesn't actually come from doing whatever you want randomly. It comes from obeying the principles of the mechanism you're using.
Oh, like physics.
Exactly. If you want to fly a plane, you have to obey the laws of aerodynamics. You don't argue with gravity. If you want wealth, you obey the laws of frequency. You don't fight the current, you align yourself with it.
So to summarize the whole mission we started with today, the real problem isn't the economy, it's not the job market, and it's not your boss.
No, those are just external reflections. The problem, and thankfully the solution, is your internal frequency. The universe is literally just a mirror. If you frown at a mirror, you can't force the reflection to smile back at you.
You have to smile first.
You have to smile first. Here's where it gets really interesting for me, and maybe for you, listener. It puts the responsibility 100% back on us, which is scary, but it also means we actually have the control.
Exactly. You are the projector. The world is just the screen. If you don't like the movie playing, don't yell at the screen. Change the film in the projector.
I love that. So I want to leave you, the listener, with this final provocative thought from. It's a deep question of self-definition.
Ask yourself right now, Are you a hopeful just waiting around for a miracle to save you? Or are you a commander broadcasting a powerful signal that reality must respond to?
The universe is just listening to your broadcast. What is it hearing right now?
Oh, my friend, I think my broadcast just changed.
Me too. Why wait? Start your day today. Thank you for experiencing Catalyst Power with us. See you next time.